Well, hello, welcome back. So today I'm going to be doing another tutorial because apparently most of you don't want to sit through 3 hours of a shitty quality stream that you can hardly hear because I was doing it on my laptop and the fan was in the way. So I decided to film another tutorial / review of the new Jaclyn Hill Morphe Volume 2 palette. This is the palette. I feel like at the beginning of every video there's something that I want to say, but I've forgotten what it is. Anyway, this is the color layout. This is obviously the look that I created. So if you want to see how I created this look and also what my thoughts are on this palette, keep watching. All right, so I'm going to start off with eyes today because I want to do something that's going to be like pretty intense. I'm thinking that I'm going to do a cut to crease, and I want to dip into some of these foils this time. So I'm going to start off by priming my lids with the Anastasia primer. And I prefer to do my eyebrows first when I do my eyes first because it kind of creates like a guide for where your shadow is going to go. I can't imagine doing my eyeshadow without having brows as like some kind of a frame for my eyes. You see any tiny little specks? My towel had like lint all over it and it's everywhere. So like I've been having a really hard time trying to get that off my face. Like this guy's just going to be here, I think. I'm going to take whatever is left over and just kind of pat it on my under eyes because lately right under here hasn't been holding on to product. I don't know why. It's just, I've pretty much never primed that area and then gone in with eyeshadow, but it just will not hold on to any pigment lately. So I don't want to put any extra just because I feel like that'll be a little too much for like my under eye creases, but just patting it like along my lower lash line. And then I'm going to prime my under eyes. I like to do this when I do my eyes first just because we can. These are the Milk Cooling Water Eye Patches. So they're just basically like a little gel under eye patch by Milk Makeup, and I don't know, I like them. They're a lot better if you keep them in the fridge. I didn't do that, and I don't know if that's whatever. Whichever way you want to put them, I never know which way to put them. This is also gonna just like catch makeup, you know? Doesn't really matter because we have nothing on our face. Okay, so if you did miss my live stream, and I realize that like most of you don't want to like sit down for 3 hours and watch a video where I'm just fucking around. This palette is mostly like reds anyway, very like warm tones. So I pretty much focused on like these matte shades. I used basically like the matte reds. I do want to kind of go into foil. I want to do like a cut crease. This is kind of difficult because the transition shades that I could possibly go in with are sort of dark. There is this matte white or matte cream shade up here that is decent for like mixing. So I might mix this pink shade right here. Oh wait, shit. Is that what I used last time? I think that's what I used last time. I think I'm gonna mix this color right here, this neutral, and the matte white just to make it a little bit lighter. And then I might go into the purples. And I'm gonna be using my Morphe M573 brush, just kind of like a big fluffy brush. So basically what I'm gonna do is dip into this shadow and then I'm gonna dip into this shadow, kind of back and forth, mixing them. And that's a really nice way to create like a custom color. If you guys haven't seen my like how I blend eyeshadow perfectly video, I'll link it somewhere. But that's like the trick to getting super blended eyeshadow. This might actually be a little light. I just don't wanna like build anything up way too quickly. So from what I noticed in my first video or from my live stream, these colors are super velvety, they're very pigmented, and they blend really nicely. So this was a very polarizing palette. I had a lot of people commenting after I uploaded that live stream saying like, Jaclyn Hill, I'm unsubscribing. So I realized she's a polarizing figure. However, Morphe just sent me this palette and I thought I would try it because I'm pretty sure I did a video on the first one. So those colors actually mix really, really nicely. Like they definitely have a very velvety finish. I don't think anything is going on patchy. You guys could probably tell me better. But that's the nice thing about having like a light cream shadow matte like that, is if you feel like some of the transition shades are too dark for you, especially like very, very fair people. I feel like most of these transition shades are very dark. You can mix them and then it makes it a little bit more versatile. So I am going to do a cut crease, which is why I'm focusing this all up above the lid. I'm probably going to cut above where my like crease is. Duh. Sometimes I say things in these videos and I just know they're going to get cut out. Okay, we blended that for about 40 minutes. So now I'm going to take a smaller blending brush. I think I'm gonna start dipping into like the pinks and the purples this time around. So I'm gonna use my Morphe M456 brush, which is kind of like a little blending brush, but it gets a little flatter as you turn it. This is really great for like focusing product for like a cut crease. And I think I'm gonna pick up, this is Tipsy Girl right here. I used this last time. I think I'm gonna go into this one right here. What's that called? Lolly Mama. And I'm just gonna start kind of just like sketching out where the cut crease is gonna go. Some of these shadows have more kickback when you like dip your brush in than others. For example, the first two that I went in with, lots of kickback when I'm like mixing them. Lolly Mama on the other hand, not as much. That doesn't necessarily mean that there's like inconsistency in the formula, but maybe the way it's pressed, just saying. So I'm gonna focus this like right above where my actual crease is, kind of like just the bottom of that bone. I'm gonna use this to kind of like sketch out that shape, keeping a really light hand. I don't want to take it in like way too far, basically just laying down that color. If you hear any scratching, that's Ziva at the door. That's a really pretty color actually. I was a little worried that that was gonna be kind of dull, but it's not at all. And then I'm gonna go back in with that little mixture from before that we laid down first and just blend kind of like up a little bit because I don't want to take that pink way too high. I'm worried that this eyeshadow look is not gonna look good with my top. Using the Morphe M507 brush, which is this little tapered blending brush. You guys have seen this before. I'm gonna pick up Therapy Sesh. Where did it go? It's a little, wait, this one. No, what the fuck? Yeah, this one. Therapy Sesh. It's a little bit more on the, like the blue side, but Stay True's a little bit darker, so I think I want to save that. This is interesting because these colors are super vibrant and kind of like when you put them down by themselves, they're very, very pigmented because like I said, I use those mattes, but they blend really nicely. So you could probably see like once I put that down, it wasn't just like a crazy amount of purple immediately. You know what I mean? It's very pigmented, but it builds up nicely. That's a really pretty color. I actually really love that. I would say, just all criticisms of Jaclyn Hill aside, we're not getting into all of that because I kind of got into that in my other video. She does know how to pick colors for palettes that work beautifully together. Mixing, like just the way the palette looks is really attractive and pretty much like you can't really go wrong with like mixing any of these colors, you know? They all kind of blend really nicely together. She definitely knows her eyeshadow layouts because there are definitely other influencers that I've seen like who've come out with palettes and I look at it and I'm like, I don't even know where to begin. This really does not look visually appealing to me. But as soon as I saw this, I was like, those colors, you know what I mean? It's also blending very effortlessly, just saying. I feel like if I say anything positive about this, people are gonna be mad. Now I'm gonna grab, oh, I don't know if I wanna use Not My Journey or Stay True. I think I'm gonna grab Not My Journey simply because this is still very pink looking. It's not like getting too purple. And I think that's probably gonna take it a little bit more on the pink side. So let's start building up the purple a little bit more. I'm gonna use the same brush just because it's super tapered and pretty versatile. So I'm kind of using the shape of my brush to kind of like, I don't need to be necessarily so precise with how I place it for the lid because I'm gonna be cutting that crease. I'm gonna be going in with like a primer or a concealer. I am placing like point down, kind of angling my brush so that it's blending upward and creating like a sharper line down here. But like you don't have to worry about that really. You could just kind of like blend normally and then go in and clean it up. So as far as the blending up here, I want to be kind of like easy with it right now just because we don't have any face makeup on. So I usually will like focus more on like the blending out here or like smoking it out more once I have the rest of my face makeup on. Okay, so I think I'm gonna leave it like that for now. Oh, I could go in with Crazy. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I am gonna go in with a little bit of red, fuck it. So I'm gonna use Crazy, this dark sort of like burgundy shade, just to kind of deepen up that purple. I wanna, if I can find a smaller brush, I'll use it. I wanna kind of just want to really deepen up that area. just don't really know what to use. I think I'm gonna use this little Color CCB103 brush. So I'm gonna focus it on like the tip of the brush and then kind of just draw it around that line. And then I can go in with the purple brush with no product, no extra product, and use that to blend. All right, so for my lid, oh God, I don't know what color I'm gonna use. I feel like the foils are pretty natural for the most part. Whatever, I'm gonna clean up the lid. I'm gonna put a little bit more of that primer. Where did it go? How does this happen? This always happens and then it's right in front of my face. Okay, I guess I'm not gonna use any primer because I can't find it. So I'm just gonna use a little bit of concealer. I'm gonna use the Jouer Essential in Chiffon. I'm literally just using the tiniest bit of this just to kind of like define that line up there, so it doesn't really matter what you use. But that's gonna bother me. I really need to find that primer. And to carve it, I'm using the Anele brush by Hank & Henry Beauty. I love this brush. I use it to clean up my my brows. Fantastic, love it. So I'm basically just gonna like pick a tiny bit up on the tip, and then I like to kind of look forward and see where that, you know, where it meets, because I have kind of hooded lids. Don't tell me that I don't, okay? I do. So what I like to do is kind of like see where that's gonna be and then start sketching out a line. I've seen other people just like put concealer on their lid and then kind of like, you know, blink or whatever and then see where it hits, which is another, you know, good way to do it if you don't really know where to begin. I should have done this one first. I think this one has to come up a little bit higher. So just take about like, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours to get these even. Whenever I do any kind of cut crease, I like to bring this part out a lot, like out and up, rather than bringing it down, because it just kind of like adds a little bit of a lift to the eye, especially if your crease is more like on the inner part. Because if you go too high in here, it can make your eyes look very like droopy and round, which typically isn't the style that I'm going for. And then I'm just going to bring that down, kind of blend it into the primer. This is fine because we already have a powder down, like the eyeshadow powder, I mean. So it adds like a little bit more grip. Fuck, I just fucked that up. That's what happens when I talk. Okay, I need to focus for a second. I can't talk to you. Whatever. Just so you know, this shit is not my strong suit. Cut creases are not my strong suit. Just felt like doing something different. So once you've spent like at least 3 days trying to get your cut crease even, I guess you put the shadow on, huh? I don't know what color I want to use. All right, let's take a look at what we got here. So this shade right here, not that you can see it, it's called I'm In It, and it's kind of more sheer. It's like a little bit more, I don't know how to show this to you. It's a kind of more of a, I don't know. I never really like shades like this really because, focus please, excuse me, excuse me, excuse me. They're kind of powdery, like they're very powdery and then they have sort of like a holographic thing. I don't know, in my opinion, I never know what to use this for. Am I supposed to top like a matte shadow with that? I don't know. So I'm not wild about that color. This color is called Flawed and Awe. Get ready with me. It's kind of boring. This one is more of a diamondy color. And then there's Drama Queen. Boring. Bougie. Boring. And then the other colors are kind of dark. A Moment is kind of this like pinky, but that doesn't really work with our cut crease, huh? Because we got a lot of pinks going on. Fuck, I don't know what to do. Empowered is kind of bomb. Yeah, that's pretty fucking fly. Ooh. And then this is Talia, which is gold, but I don't know, gold and pink, it always just kind of, whenever you get red and gold together, it just reminds me of McDonald's. So I think I'm gonna go in with Flawed and Odd. Wait, Flawed and Odd? Right here, which on camera, in my monitor, does not look impressive at all, but it's actually very beautiful. So I'm gonna pick that up with that same brush, the Hank & Henry Anele brush, and I'm gonna use it dry to begin with, just to see. I'm gonna start packing it on like the inner part of the lid, because I don't really know what I'm doing with the outer part yet. I mean, it's a pretty color. Should we maybe spritz it in a minute? It's looking way more gold than what I wanted. This brush applies it really, really nicely though. I've said this a million times, but if you guys haven't checked out Hank & Henry Beauty, you have to, because it's fantastic. And their brushes are not only super chic, but bomb. Okay, I'm gonna take a little bit of that and just kind of, I think I'm gonna follow this line. By the way, this is applying beautifully. I'm just gonna follow that line right up there. And then I might use maybe a red or a purple like down here. I really didn't think that I was gonna be going in with anything that's gold, you know? Okay, so that doesn't look bad. I'm gonna spritz my brush now. I'm just gonna keep using the same brush, but this time I'm going to hit it with a little bit of the Glow Recipe Setting Mist. I just wanna see how much we can intensify that. That's quite nice. It always just kind of like liquefies and intensifies the reflect of that color. It's not completely necessary because these shadows definitely have like a really beautiful finish on their own, but I mean, you can definitely see the difference. All right, and then I'm just gonna use the flip side of that brush, and then I think I'm gonna grab this guy, which I can't read backwards, but that color right there. No, wait, yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna focus it kind of like there because I really don't know what I want to do with the outer part. This is gonna be interesting. I really like these shadows on their own, but I am gonna spritz this. And then I'm gonna flip my brush back around and I'm gonna pick up some of that Flawed and Awe and then just kind of blend in this area. What I like about Flawed and Awe is that it has like a little bit of sort of like a reddish, kind of like a, not magenta, what's that color? Fuchsia pearl in it. It's got a little bit of that reflect, so it actually kind of like blends into this color really nicely. And sort of the same thing, like a Moment sort of has like a little bit of that warmth to it, so it doesn't look weird when you blend like this almost gold shadow. Right? Like that looks kind of nice. I just can't bring myself to use this red even though I really want to because of the gold. I feel like I need something really, really deep. Okay, so I was gonna use a shimmer, but I think for this outer part of the cut crease, I'm actually going to grab Crazy, this deep burgundy shade right here. I'm just gonna kind of blend that into like what we already have, and I'm using my Color CCB103 brush. Yeah, I like that a lot better, okay. I needed something deep. I was looking for like a deep shimmer, but the darkest foil is Good Place, and it's just like very purple. I don't know. Not wild about that. Okay, and then I'm gonna take a little bit of the black, which is called Temptress, and focus that very close to the lash line on the outer part, right there. Kind of like where I would put a wing, you know, I'm just kind of winging it, but I'm just gonna pat it down at first. And then once I have that shadow down, I'm gonna wipe my brush off. I'm gonna dip it into Crazy, but tap it off like crazy. And then tap over that, because I just want to deepen up that area, but I don't want it to look like so black. And then I think I'm just gonna leave it like this for now. All right, I'm gonna do some of my face makeup and then we'll come back for the lower lash line. All right, so I basically did the rest of my face makeup. I don't really bake, but I am gonna put a little bit of powder down, just, it's insurance, okay? So I'm gonna use my LC Cosmetics light medium, whatever this powder is. And I'm mostly just gonna focus that like around my eyes and stuff. Just anywhere that I like don't want the potential fallout to be. Now for my lower lash line, I think I'm gonna go in with my, I mean, I pretty much do this every single time. I think I'm gonna go in with my waterline first. I feel like people are getting really tired of this color, but I just am never tired of it. So, and it's just it's so fucking flattering and it just goes with this palette so beautifully. So I think I'm gonna use the Marc Jacobs Fine Liner in the shade Fine Wine. Basically, anytime I have a color like this on my eyes, this is what I use. So I kind of want to make the lower lash line a little bit more on the burgundy side. I think I'm going to start off with Crazy. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go in with Oh Hello. It's a little bit lighter, but it's like going more towards the purples. And then I'm going to set that liner with that. And I'm going to use that CCB103 brush. I think I'm going to focus it just on the outer half. Okay, and then for this part right here, I think I'm gonna go in with Feelin' Myself. This one right here, this matte shade, because I think it'll kind of tie in the first lid color that we put down. And I'm applying that with the Morphe E36 brush. It's kind of like a tiny, I don't know what to call this. I'm gonna wipe off that brush and then I'm gonna grab No Joke, the yellow shade, because I'm really intrigued by this. Yellows are really, really difficult. They usually end up looking very chalky. I'm just gonna swatch it really quick. Oh. That looks like it could be pretty bomb. I'm focusing that on the same brush, but like right on the tip, and then I'm gonna use that to buff basically underneath all of that. Can't even see it. I'm having kind of a hard time building up that yellow. Not that, I mean, I'm really just using it to blend this stuff out, but you really can't see it. So I don't know, using it on its own, questionable. All right, now that I have powder on my face, I can do the, like, finish off the blending up here. So I'm gonna go back in with the transition shade that we started off with in the beginning by mixing Certified in Love handles and do a little bit of blending. Okay, and then for my inner corner, I'm going to use I'm In It, even though I really don't want to. It's this shade right here. It's kind of like holographic. You really can't see it very well. It's, I don't know, I'm on the fence about it because it's kind of chalky, but I feel like it'll be fine for maybe a brow bone highlight, fuck, brow bone highlight or inner corner highlight. So actually, let's just do both. And to apply that, I'm using my Morphe M205 brush. It's pretty, actually. It looks very pink. It's like very sheer. Then when you put it down, it's like this holographic pink. It's actually pretty intense. Yeah, I just don't know how to use that as a shadow. I don't know why. I'm always kind of thrown off by shades like this. All right, guys, so this is the finished eye look. I basically just finished my makeup. I popped on the Can't Be Tamed, I don't know why I'm showing you the box, lashes by Velour Lashes, which are pretty fucking fantastic. I don't know if you guys can tell, but they look fantastic with this. Really nice, like kind of cat eye, sultry, but like natural, sort of. Anyway, I do have a code with Velour. It's VLSXALEX, whatever. It's linked down below. I think you get 10% off. Could be 15, can't remember. But yeah, I popped that on, finished my brows, and then I am wearing like a few different things on my lips, but this gloss by Dominique Cosmetics is my new favorite gloss. It's like creamy, but not too creamy. Super lightweight, not sticky, smells delicious. It's called Creamer. So good. They have a like a deep nude as well, which is somewhere around here. I can't find it. I also have a code with Dominique Cosmetics. I think it's just Alex, and I think it's 10% off. Could be 15. Again, don't know. Linked down below. But new favorite nude gloss, which is why I've been wearing nude glosses in like all of my photos. All right, let's get up and close. So what do you guys think? I feel like it blended really, really well. I love all the colors. God damn, like I just love that. I really like the way it turned out. When I was first doing it, I was like, I don't know about these colors. I didn't know about like the combo that I chose, but I feel like they're really pretty. I like it. I like the palette. I don't know if that's what you want to hear. If you hate her, sorry. I think it's nice. It blends really beautifully. I love the layout of it. Like, look at how nice that looks. It's just visually pleasing. And believe it or not, you kind of look at this and you think like, oh my God, what a bright palette, because you're seeing all of these like bright shades, this bright ass yellow, you know? But she actually does have a really nice amount of like neutrals. Like, especially these foils up here are all really neutral. Even this one is pretty neutral. The deepening shades like kind of allows you to go in and maybe get a little bit more creative with it. While it may look kind of intimidating, the color selection is just like so stunning. Like I really love it a lot. So I personally love the palette. If you are interested, I would recommend it. I think it blends beautifully. I haven't really heard anything from other people, but I like it a lot. I think it's nice. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. I think it definitely performed beautifully. Yeah, I think it's nice. I like it. Not going into all of the whatever surrounding Jaclyn Hill. If you're interested in any of my opinion on that, I did touch on it in that 3-hour-long video. So if you want to watch a shitty quality stream, go ahead over there to check that out. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I will see you in the next one.